kids, I'm Hilah, and today on Hilah Cooking, I'm going to show you how to make an American classic. It's called apple pie. We're going to take some delicious fresh apples, look how rosy they are, and put them in a pie shell and bake it up. It's a beautiful dessert for your holiday tables, and it's going to make Johnny Appleseed real proud. For this apple pie recipe, we are going to actually cook the apples first. What this does is eliminates that gap that you sometimes get between the top crust and the filling. So we'll cook out some of that water first. So I've got some butter here and about 3 pounds of apples, and I'm using a combination of apples. I've got some Empire apples that my buddies sent me from Vermont. I've got some Golden Delicious and some Granny Smith. You can use pretty much any apple. It is nice to mix it up so you get a variety of flavors, so you get a really full and round apple flavor. I would say don't use Macintosh because they're so soft, they just kind of turn to mush. So you want fairly crisp apples. So I'm just gonna cook these for about 5 minutes until they start getting a little bit soft. I'm gonna add some sugar, a little sugar, about 2/3 of a cup. You could add a little bit more, but I don't like my desserts terribly sweet. And I'm gonna add some cinnamon. You could use apple pie spice too if you have that. A little salt. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of cayenne pepper. This is a trick that our friend Stephanie taught me. She brought over a pie for my birthday. She put cayenne pepper in it, and it was pretty badass. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. You can leave that out, obviously, but it's really nice. I like it. So we'll just get this out, and as these apples soften, they're gonna start releasing a lot of liquid. That liquid is gonna mix up with the sugar and turn into a nice, delicious syrup. How'd you like my dance? It's like actually a really good core stretch. Feels really good. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep cooking this over a medium-high heat, stirring it for about 5 minutes until they're softened. Just a little bit softened and a lot of juice has released. So see you back then and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so our apples are pretty soft. You can see what's happening here. They're getting a little floppy. I'm gonna scoop out the apple to the same bowl that they were in a minute ago, because I don't want these to get overcooked, but I do want to thicken up this syrup in here so that we don't end up getting our crust all soggy later on. And then I'm just gonna boil this syrup until it thickens up a little bit, and then I'll add it to the apples. Kind of spread these out because we wanna cool the filling off a little bit before we put it into our pie shell. So after a couple minutes, you can see this is starting to thicken up, where when I drag my spoon through it, it leaves a line. So that's good. We can add it to our apples. Okay, and then just spread it out again. If you wanted to do this a little bit faster, you could put it onto a cookie sheet and spread it out in the thin layer, but I'm not in that much of a hurry and I don't want to dirty another pan, so I'm just gonna do this. And also you could do this a day or two ahead of time if you were trying to like plan your Thanksgiving cooking day and then just assemble the pie and cook it off the day of. Anyway, I'll stop talking and we'll let this cool, and then we'll come back and assemble the pie. Okie dokie, this is cooled off to room temperature. I've got my pie crust here that I've rolled out, and it's been in the fridge for a while, so the pie crust is cold right now. Just wanna scoop your apples in there. Look how pretty this is. I like leaving just a little bit of skin on there because then it's nice and colorful. Plus, kind of lazy. Get those all spread out. And then I've got my top crust over here. So, you know, apple pie is a double crust, so you gotta put one on top. That's the rules as set forth by the pilgrims. I'm gonna try to do something I've never done before. Don't judge me if it doesn't turn out, but I've got a little heart-shaped cutter here. I'm gonna cut little hearts out of the top. You need to vent the top pie crust. Usually you can just like cut some slashes in it, which is the easiest way to do it. But I'm gonna try to do something cute here. It's probably gonna backfire. Pull those out. Oh, but what I was saying, you need to vent it to let the steam out, or else it kind of bubbles over and it breaks the seams. So now, just wanna do that.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, no problem. Just try to get it centered. Crimp these edges together. You want to get it sort of connected to the lower crust. So do like that. And then we can go around. Oh, my little lattice is totally not centered at all. We can go around and kind of crimp it just with your hands. And then I've got a little bit of heavy cream here. You can use egg white or whatever. I'm gonna just smear the back, kind of decorate it with the little cutouts. And definitely if you have some ugly stuff, go ahead and cover that up. No one will ever be the wiser. There, now everything's off center. Ha ha. Now I'm gonna use my clean finger and just kind of go over a little, and again, you could use an egg instead, and this just, it kind of adds some nice color, goldenness to it. And it's going to help our sugar stick, because I want to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top just for a little sparkly finish. World's ugliest apple pie. You're welcome. And then just like a tablespoon of sugar, kind of get it on the crust. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven, 350 for 30 to 40 minutes until it's nice and golden brown and pie looking. Okay, so it took 40 minutes. Look at that beautiful pie, it's so pretty. All right, so when you do a fruit pie like this, you really need to wait for it to cool completely before you start to cut it, or else all the juices just goosh everywhere and you get a big ol' stinking mess. Actually, it's a delicious smelling mess. So I'm not gonna cut this, I'm gonna let it cool for 2 to 3 hours and then eat it all by myself. Sorry about that. If you like this recipe, also check out my fried apple pies recipe and also the apple crisp that I did recently. Those are great apple recipes. Please remember to subscribe so that you get notified when I release a new video. And this recipe and all my recipes are always available in printable form at hilahcooking.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, and have a great week. Bye.